Ever get that feeling, like you're on autopilot, reacting to things without really thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Like that split second where, like, you snap at someone, and then immediately you're like, whoa, where did that come from?
It's a universal experience. We all have those moments where we get kind of swept away by our emotions,
Totally.
But what if there was a way to, like, just hit the pause button for a second?
Okay.
Just for a moment, and then choose a different response.
Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind already. So that's what this whole noticing game thing is about, right?
Exactly. It's this deceptively simple practice, actually. It's got roots in a lot of different spiritual traditions, but it can help you become more aware of those automatic reactions and create some space for, conscious choice.
All right, I am definitely game for a little more conscious choice in my life.
Oh.
So walk me through it.
Yeah.
What's the first step?
Well, the first step is basically just noticing, right? Noticing those, how did Rob Smith put it? Those disturbances in the force.
I love that.
Yeah, those moments when you just feel a negative emotion kind of bubbling up.
Oh, okay.
Irritability, anxiety, anger, you name it.
It's like tuning into your own personal early warning system.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it's not about trying to, like, stop those feelings.
Right.
Which is, it's impossible, right?
Right.
And probably, honestly, it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
But just simply acknowledging that they're there.
Okay.
Just like, oh, look at that. I'm feeling irritated right now.
So it's kind of like saying, hello, irritation. I see you there.
Exactly. You're bringing it into the light of awareness.
Yeah.
Rather than letting it kind of fester in the shadows of your subconscious.
Okay. Yeah, I can see how that would be helpful, but like what happens next?
Sure.
Just acknowledging it doesn't magically make it disappear.
You're right. It doesn't make it disappear instantly. But just the act of noticing can often kind of, it can take the wind out of its sails a little bit. Think of it like this.
Okay.
Okay. So imagine you're in a dark room.
Okay.
And you stub your toe on a piece of furniture.
Oh, I've been there.
Right. And you might, you yell out.
Yeah.
You curse, you feel that surge of pain and anger.
Totally.
But now imagine you flick on the light switch.
Suddenly you can see where you're going.
Exactly. The pain might still be there.
Right.
But the anger, it kind of tends to dissipate a bit, because you brought awareness to the situation.
Yeah. Instead of fumbling around in the dark and like blindly reacting.
Right.
You can see clearly and actually choose how you want to respond.
Precisely. And that's the first benefit of this whole noticing game thing.
Okay.
Smith argues that the more you practice this, the stronger your higher self becomes.
There's that higher self idea. Again, it sounds a bit, mystical.
Sure.
Yeah. Can we unpack that a little more?
Sure. Yeah. It's not as, esoteric as it might sound, really.
Yeah.
Think of your higher self as that part of you that can kind of, observe your thoughts and feelings. Without getting totally swept away by them.
Yeah.
It's that calm, centered place inside you that can be like, okay, anger, yeah, I see you there. But I'm not going to let you, control me.
Well, it's like that inner voice of wisdom we all have, but, so often it's just it's drowned out by the noise of our everyday thoughts and reactions,
You got it. And the noticing game is it's like a workout.
Oh.
For that inner observer.
I like that.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So we're training ourselves to become more aware of our own internal landscape.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mental map maker, charting out the territory of our emotions.
I love that.
But how does that actually translate into real life situations? How does this help me not fire off a sarcastic email when I'm stressed at work?
That's a great question. And it brings us to the second key aspect of this whole noticing game.
Okay.
It's not just about, noticing these feelings.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we actually have a choice in how we respond to them.
So it's not just about noticing those feelings. It's about actually doing something different with them.
Exactly. Remember that pause button we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
By simply noticing the feeling, you've already hit it.
Okay.
You've created this tiny little space between the stimulus and your reaction.
A tiny space, but a powerful one, right?
Absolutely. In that space, you can choose to react differently than you might, usually.
But how do we choose a different response?
Well, okay.
Because it's easy to say don't react impulsively, but what do we actually, what do we do instead?
Well, Smith actually offers this companion technique
to
the noticing game that he calls RRR.
R&R. So does that stand for like rest and relaxation?
Now,
Because honestly, that sounds pretty good right now.
not quite. It stands for relax and release.
Okay, so maybe not a spa day, but I'm intrigued. How
Okay.
does it work?
So it's all about like consciously choosing a different response, right?
Okay.
First, you relax. So,
Mm.
take a deep breath,
Right.
soften your body. Maybe even like visualize letting go of that tension you're feeling.
Like hitting the reset button on your nervous system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you release.
Okay.
And releasing means like letting go of the need to react in that same old way.
Okay.
So this might mean like choosing a more constructive way to express your feelings,
Right.
or it might just mean like letting the feeling pass without giving it any more power.
So like in that email scenario we were talking about,
Yeah.
instead of like immediately firing back a, snarky reply when I'm stressed, I might like, take a few deep breaths, relax my shoulders, which are probably up around my ears by then, and then, I don't know, choose to like address the issue more calmly later on, or even, maybe just let it go entirely.
Precisely. And you're not suppressing the feeling.
Right.
You're simply choosing to not let it, control you.
Wow. I've dabbled in mindfulness before,
Yeah.
but this noticing game combined with like this whole R&R thing, it just like, I don't know, it feels so much more, I don't know, practical and applicable to like everyday life.
That's the beauty of it. It's
Yeah.
not about like, becoming a meditation master or anything.
Right.
It's really just about incorporating these small, mindful moments into
Yeah.
your day-to-day routine.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes
Yeah.
to like catch yourself, before you react automatically.
It's like you're building new neural pathways,
Totally.
rewiring your brain for more like conscious responses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's empowering, isn't it?
Totally.
To realize that we actually have more control
Yeah.
than we might think, over our reactions.
Absolutely. It's like that quote, between stimulus and response, there is a space.
Oh, I love that one.
In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
Yes, I love that. And, the noticing game really is all about like expanding that space.
Okay.
It's about giving yourself more room to choose a response that, that really aligns with your values and intentions.
So to like wrap this all up for our listeners,
Okay.
what's like the one key takeaway you want them to remember about this whole noticing game?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm.
I think the biggest thing is just remembering that, it's a practice.
Okay.
It's not about like, perfection.
Right.
Some days you're going to be more aware than others,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. The important thing is just to like keep noticing, keep practicing, and, just keep approaching yourself with compassion.
Beautifully said. It's like we're all, works in progress, right?
Yeah.
And this is just like another tool to help us, kind of navigate the ups and downs with
Mm-hmm.
a little more like grace and awareness.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you have it, folks. The noticing game, simple but powerful.
Yeah.
And it's a practice for cultivating more self-awareness, Choosing those conscious responses, even in the heat of the moment. Give it a try, see what you notice. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and as always, keep diving deep.